He's back, Mr. Colin Slager, or also called Slager Meister. Today we're going to talk about sleep. Colin and I have had a number of conversations where we get together, we have conversations about different health, different hacks, and just how to be healthy. Colin is a trainer. He's also very into nutrition, recovery. He's an expert in the field. So he's back again because he has great information to offer. Colin, what's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me again, dude.
Yeah, dude. Two in the first five. That doesn't happen.
I am humbled and honored.
Yes.
I love podcasting. I love being in the studio. We always talk. We chop it up. I thought it was hysterical. You thought my last name was my
Yeah,
nickname.
dude. I don't know how that happened. Honestly, I was
I told that to Tim and he lost it.
because I don't know why. I think it was probably your old Instagram handle used to be Slagermeister,
Mhm.
and for some reason I had it in my phone as Slager, and I was like, I must have just not done that because I wouldn't know how to spell Meister, even though it's not that hard.
Yeah,
And so Colin Slagermeister for what we've known each other like 3 years,
something like that. Yeah, at least
this whole
at least.
time.
Yes, I thought that was funny the whole time.
Yeah. Well, Colin Slager is
Yeah,
in the
we're here.
house.
We're here.
We're going to talk a little bit about sleep today. The most important thing you can do for your health, probably. What
I'd
do you
say
think?
so.
Yeah.
I think that is number one.
Yeah.
And people go back and forth. My one buddy Doc, he's like, "Well, what about nutrition? It can help you sleep." And the
Hmm.
chicken or the egg. But I think sleep above all things is the most important for recovery.
Yeah. As a sleep abuser for years and years and years, one, obviously, I've said it 100 times, I don't get enough sleep, but I've been forced to learn how to get good sleep.
Mm.
So I kind of want to talk about some things today where we can figure out like how can we get the most out of the sleep that we get because most people aren't getting enough. So what can we do to get the best sleep out of our night?
100%.
What are some things you do? Like, do you have a nighttime routine that you get into before you go down for bed? What's that look like?
Yeah, so I'm not hitting it every night, not perfect, but I do try to, depending on when I wake up the next day, 7 to 8. If I can get closer to 8, I'm on rocket fuel. Like I am juiced up for the day. But I will practice my Spanish like 10 to 20 minutes, and then I journal, and then I
Okay.
read. So I read before bed. I might throw on, like on YouTube, like rain hitting the window sounds.
Hmm.
Just I like something when I read, and then got to be kind of cool, like temp
Yeah.
wise. I got to be a little cold because your brain has to cool off a couple degrees to go to sleep. But that helps me because I'm on screens a lot,
Hmm.
like whether we're posting, I'm writing, anything like that. So I need to really unwind and calm the central nervous system down. I think blue light blocking glasses are a must,
Hmm.
especially if you're doing screens at nighttime.
Right.
So those are a few things I do, but reading before bed helps me just,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll fall right asleep.
Same. Yeah. I don't make it too far usually. Once in a
Yeah.
while, like if I'm reading like a really fast, I don't really read a lot of fiction, but if I do, and I'm reading a fast paced fiction book, I'll look up and I read like 20 pages and it's
Mhm.
way too late and I need to be asleep 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like if I can get in bed and read, I'm falling asleep within like 5 minutes.
Hmm.
I don't really have a problem falling asleep typically.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm underslept or understressed. I got plenty of that. Never had issues falling asleep, but some people do.
Mhm.
What would a client of yours comes to you and says, I can't fall asleep. What should I do? What's the first thing you're telling them?
Well, I do ask what their nighttime looks like.
Mhm.
What does it look like a few hours leading up to bed? And then we'll go way earlier in the day. Caffeine consumption.
Mhm.
When's your last cup of coffee? It's 4 or 5 p.m. Look, I'm a psycho. I can have a cup of coffee and go to bed.
Mhm.
But some people they're very sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And caffeine has that half life, so it'll take 8-10 hours for all of it to completely get out of your system.
Yeah. I'm like that too. I can drink a coffee. Like I have a coffee almost every night around 6:30.
Oh, jeez.
Just to finish the day and get through everything.
Yeah.
And I have no problems going to sleep. I don't have any problems staying asleep unless I get woken up by one of my kids.
Mhm.
But I also know that half life, that caffeine's still flowing in my system. It's
Sure.
still affecting me. I assume it's releasing cortisol. I don't know
Yeah,
much about
so it will. I mean, if you still wake up rested, I wouldn't be as concerned.
Mhm.
But if you're not waking up rested, like how you think you should, like if you get a full 7-8 hours and you're just dragging, then I would say maybe you need to cut it back, get like a cold black tea or something, with
Okay.
some half a cup of coffee worth of caffeine and start to wean yourself off, or try to go to decaf.
Oh,
I know it
that feels
tastes
like a
different
sin.
too. Yeah, it tastes different too. I don't see the point of decaf. I don't drink it, but I have done that at night before where I just enjoy good coffee, but you get your fix without your system getting caffeinated.
Decaf has caffeine, doesn't it? Not as much.
I don't think. I
I'm gonna
mean,
look this up. I feel
I
like I've
think
heard this somewhere.
you're probably gonna get like the most mineral, like a non-alcoholic beer
Yeah.
having whatever percent of alcohol, like
Right. Yeah.
point
Okay.
something. But especially with decaf, you need to be careful where you like what kind you get, and that's where you don't need to buy every single
Oh.
thing
Yeah.
organic, but decaf especially, you need to get a well sourced coffee because that process of decaffeinating can be even more toxic than
Hmm.
just spraying the beans.
That makes sense. So does decaf coffee have caffeine? How much caffeine is in decaf coffee? Decaffeination removes about 97% or more of the caffeine in coffee beans. A typical cup of caffeine or decaf coffee has about 2 milligrams of caffeine. Okay, so basically nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we
So
went through
yeah,
that
you
because I
could
needed
you
to
could
see
wean
that.
off a little bit. I'll buy at the store like these cold like teas,
Hmm.
cans of tea, and like black tea. So it's like 45 milligrams. So if you don't want to go straight like 100 to 0, you could cut it in half and see how that treats you.
Yeah, I should probably start doing that. I do like a nighttime tea, but that's like right before bed.
Okay.
So I've been just absolutely crushing my nighttime routine for the last like 3 months. um, I was just in shambles, like mentally, physically,
Hmm.
because for years just it was catching up to me.
Hmm.
Um, so I talk about this a lot, but I take a shower every night, whether I need to or not. So the reason I do that is I want my body temperature to rise, and then whenever I get out, I want my body already cooling off.
Right.
So my core body temperature is going down. It's on the way down. I do all my oils and stuff like that. I take my supplements. I have my tea. I get in bed with my blue light glasses,
Hmm.
and then I'll either read or I'll watch like a documentary.
Nice.
It's not the best, but
Hey.
I like to decompress that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've seen a huge improvement in my sleep since I started being super consistent with my nighttime routine. And I'm talking weekdays, weekends. It's
Yeah.
making a huge difference for me.
Oh yeah.
So, and then the biggest thing is like I'm going to sleep and waking up every day at the same time.
That's huge.
That's
Is a
maybe the biggest thing.
regular bedtime is
Right.
huge.
So like I've heard like Huberman and Matt Walker were talking about like even if you don't get enough sleep and you decide you need to take a nap during the day, it can mess you up. What do you think about naps?
So for me personally, I think they're a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't nap. One of the reasons is I got shit to do.
Yeah.
But two, it'll end up being like a 3 hour time warp where I
Oh,
wake up,
really?
I'm like, what just happened in my
Okay.
day? So if I actually cannot function, like I'm at my computer and my eyes are shutting,
Hmm.
I'll lay down for 20, 30 minutes, but I know I have to get up. But Huberman has talked about, and I've done this before too, his non-deep sleep relaxation,
Hmm.
where you're not trying to go to sleep, but you just lay down, you shut your eyes, maybe you lay down on the couch so you don't get in
Right.
bed,
Hmm.
and that will help kind of bring you back to life. So I've done that for like 20, 25 minutes where I'm not trying to sleep. And if I doze off for like 5 minutes or so, cool. But I wake up and okay, I can work again
Yeah.
and I don't lose 3, 4 hours. But yeah, I don't nap.
I can't imagine a 3 or 4 hour nap. That sounds crazy.
It is. That's why I don't do it.
Okay.
But because I know that will happen. And I'll set alarms too. And some days it's just like, nah, it's almost
Yeah.
muscle memory. You swipe the
Yeah.
alarm and before you know it, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I just lost
Yeah.
so much time worth of work. So I think they can be beneficial if you have more discipline with it.
So
But yeah, the non-deep sleep relaxation is big for Huberman. I've heard him talk about it a bunch. But if you're struggling, I'd start there first.
okay. What I do is I do caffeine naps, right? So I take my glass of water, some Mio, take it upstairs and lay down. Get as soon as I'm getting comfortable where I like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep soon.
Yeah.
I will roll over, I'll chug my caffeine, I'll close my eyes, do meditation, fall asleep for like 5, 10 minutes, wake up, fresh.
Dude, you're not the first person I've heard talk about this.
Yeah, it's I forget where I even got that from, a
Yeah.
podcast many, many moons ago. But I guess that 15-minute window allows time for your body to rest, and then that caffeine kicks in right around 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Nice.
And
Dude,
that's how
yeah.
I get up early too. Like I have a first alarm, set it, chug my caffeine, which I know is not good for you. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
it. But I chug my caffeine, second alarm goes off, I'm boom, ready to go.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
I utilize these tools just to try and overcome, I would love to sleep in, but just
I
can't.
mean, you got 2 kids and you work all the
Right.
time.
Yeah. So,
Like, but yeah, so if someone's struggling, I would look at their nighttime routine, and then I would look at their food. So I
mhm,
had a patient once, this is probably 3, 4 years ago. No, it was right before COVID. And she hated her job. Her and her boyfriend were about to buy a house together. She's coming in for pain, and she's getting shit sleep. I'm like, well, 1 and 1 still makes 2. I understand a lot of these things. Stress is through the roof. And I asked her about her dinner. Like, what's dinner usually? And she tells me, and she had no carbs.
mhm.
And so I asked her, do you have any carbs with your dinner? And she said, no. Why not? Well, I hate carbs. Why do you hate carbs? I don't know. Carbs are the enemy. So we get in this whole bit about carbs were the enemy.
I hope everybody gets that.
Yeah, dude, I hope. If
Did
you're
we
old
talk about
enough,
this
you
last
do.
time?
Probably.
I think we did another
Probably.
Austin Powers reference on the last
Yeah.
episode. Go ahead.
That I do a good Fat Albert too. Sometimes they kind of intertwine. But I told her, hey, whatever agrees with you, digestive wise. Like some people can't do gluten. So I'm like, hey, I don't care if it's a pasta, a quinoa, whatever you can stomach, have some carbs at dinner. She came back like a week later and she fell right to sleep.
Hmm.
So carbs spike insulin,
Mhm,
which brings down cortisol. Cortisol is that people listening, that fight or flight hormone.
mhm.
When you're in a dangerous situation, that cortisol kicks in. When you're ready to do a lift or a competition, it's go time. Like you're ready for war, that's cortisol. And a lot of people live there.
Yeah.
And so the carbohydrates drop that cortisol by spiking insulin, helps you kind of relax. So that's a big piece of post workout nutrition, having carbs, because you need to drop that cortisol.
One thing I've really learned in our conversations, as well as a conversation I had last week or 2 weeks ago with Garrett Surd from
Mhm.
Tandem Nutrition, is really understanding that like we hear cortisol and we think like stress, like I'm mentally stressed, like something's stressing me out.
Mhm.
But we often forget that cortisol is, it can be stress in your body, right? You
Sure.
work out, you have cortisol.
Sure.
That's stress in your body. So I just want to hit that home because forever, whenever I think of cortisol, I'm thinking like somebody's stressed out, not
Right.
physically stressed, just like, oh, I'm stressed, that kind of thing. So I think that's important to note. But
Yeah, for sure.
okay, so carbs before bed. I've heard that you shouldn't have too much protein right before bed. Is that right? And why would that be?
Because protein, I don't care who you are, protein is the hardest macro to digest.
Right.
It's
So
just, it's rough.
your body's working all night. Is that?
If it's too close before bed, I'm not the best about this either, but sometimes I get home late. But I try to not eat within 2 hours of going to bed.
Okay.
Like try to cut off your food 2 hours before bed.
Okay.
If you're like getting hungry every night, let's look at earlier in the day. What's your food look like?
Mhm,
But yeah, you don't want your body trying to digest when it should be asleep.
mhm.
I mean, even though we go through the sleep cycles, like
Yeah.
when it's time for your brain to actually go to sleep, you don't want it working.
Mhm.
Like you need to be out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 2 hours before bed is a good time to cut off food.
I had a phase where I would wake up every night and I would sleepwalk into the kitchen and I would grab a little, not a granola bar, a little fig bar
Hmm.
every single night, like clockwork every single
Interesting.
night. And I couldn't figure it out. And so I had to eventually stop that. But it was, I can't explain it. It was just like my body's like, okay, time for your fig
Interesting.
every night for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And
How'd you finally kick that?
I heard Sean Stevenson talk about it on somebody's podcast. He was talking about like, listen, you're just like, you need to figure out what you're eating. Like you just said, you need to figure out what you're eating early on in the day that's causing your body to say, hey, I want more of this right now.
Yeah.
I think it was just so I was probably eating not enough protein at that time. And just we were eating a lot of takeout all the time,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. It was during the pandemic. And I would, every single night. It was crazy.
That's insane. Do you up like your fruit intake or your carbs earlier in the day? Did you increase that at all? Like sugars?
I don't
No.
remember.
Mm.
I just remember thinking like, all right, I gotta cut this shit because
Yeah.
that's not what I want to do. And
Expensive
plus,
habit, man.
yeah, and it would be like at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So when I wake up in 3 hours or so, I'd be like hungry again
Mhm.
and more tired than if I didn't eat.
Yeah.
And eating that kind of stuff, like for me, late in the sleep cycle, it's a great way for me to go back to sleep and feel great and just sleep like a
Sure.
rock. But then I wake up just so tired.
Yeah.
So I had to cut that out. Same thing with like if we have leftover pizza, that shit's going down.
Oh, man.
Middle of the
I
night.
almost like it better cold.
Oh,
I love cold pizza.
it's okay.
Yeah. You ever do like dice up your pizza, saute it with scrambled eggs?
No, but I think I'm going to.
Oh man. Yeah. I had see my brother visited one time and I did that and he's looking at me weird. I'm like, just trust me. Like crisp up this pizza and then a couple eggs. Yeah. Oh yeah.
What pizza place?
I buy like I can't do dairy or gluten, so I buy just
Oh,
those types of pizzas. It's I forget the brand, but they're pretty good.
so that's not pizza, but
Yeah, yeah, it's not pizza. There are some spots with good cauliflower crust though, and that's basically eating a vegetable. So I'm good.
fair enough. Yeah, I've had. Have you had the Quest pizzas?
No, I haven't.
So they have. I think it's like a chicken crust.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So much like they're like little personal pan pizzas. I couldn't even eat a whole thing.
Really?
I'm a grown man.
It's
I
got to
can
be
eat.
crazy amounts of protein.
Yeah, yeah, like a lot.
I'm interested.
Yeah. So I've only had one or two of them, but back to what we are actually talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So your body's working to digest this overnight. So you said 2 hours. Why is that? Just for you, or is that just a general rule of thumb?
It's a pretty good rule of thumb. That's a standard amount of time where your body can actually break down foods. Like a pre-workout meal in a perfect scenario, 90 to 120 minutes before your workout.
Okay.
Like so people say, oh, I eat on my way to the gym.
Okay.
You can get away with that if it's a faster sugar, an apple, a banana, maybe an RX bar. But if you're chicken and rice, just easy example, your body's not going to use that as fuel until you're probably done with your workout.
Okay.
So 90 to 120 minutes is a sweet spot. I think before bed, err on the side of 2 hours. So yeah, I laugh at. I've seen people eat like chicken breasts in the middle of the workout.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are
That's
you
not
doing?
doing
What are you doing?
Yeah. I've been eating strawberries and blueberries on the way to the gym.
Yeah, so that's a
Pretty
little
quick,
faster
right?
sugar. You probably feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I start like it's frozen, so I start like probably 30 minutes before I'm going to leave, and I just kind of nibble on it until I get there.
You got me on the frozen fruit. Frozen blueberries.
Oh my
Now it's a
God.
kryptonite.
Yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, so I think 2 hours before bed is a good time. It's where you don't feel heavy or bogged down in your stomach, and you can just go to sleep.
Now, are you tracking your sleep?
I don't actually.
Okay. So you talk about, the bedtime, don't eat before bedtime. I notice a significant increase in my heart rate variability in the morning on nights that I don't eat before bed.
It's higher.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Heart rate variability, we
Yeah,
want
yeah.
that to be high.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that whenever I don't eat after dinner and I go to bed later, so I'm like probably like 3 hours without eating,
Yeah.
my heart rate variability is probably 10-15% higher than if I were to eat right before bed and go to bed.
Yeah.
That's
You probably feel better when you wake up.
oh
too.
yeah, more energy, not hungry. Like if I eat right before to bed, I'm waking up hungry. I don't know why that is. Maybe you do.
I've heard that before, but I haven't looked into it
Okay.
enough to not talk out my ass.
Fair enough. What about sleep cycles? Right. So we have the primary, you're awake,
Mhm.
you are in deep sleep, slow wave sleep,
Mhm.
REM sleep, and light sleep, right?
Yep.
Anything I'm missing?
No, there's usually 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Depending on how long you sleep. So cycles are about 90 minutes.
Hmm.
Um,
And you hit all 4 of those in each cycle.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So REM is very common, super important. But so that's like rapid eye movement. And it is a deeper sleep. And when I was researching, it's about 20 to 25% of your sleep time you want to be in REM.
Really?
Yeah. So about a quarter, which is, makes sense if you're getting 4 or 5 cycles a night, you sleep 7, 8 hours, yeah, math checks out. It's close enough. But REM helps with memory. Like if you have trouble retaining new information, then you're
Mhm.
probably not getting enough REM sleep, which I thought was interesting. I didn't know that. So that's a big thing with memory, how you can remember dreams, and just, yeah, if you're trying to, like, if I can't pick up a new language like Spanish, if I just forget something I did the night before, I
Mhm.
probably didn't have enough REM sleep during that night's rest.
And then for the slow wave sleep, also known as deep sleep.
hmm So they consider that quote the most essential
Mhm.
because that is like when your sleep sleeps. So like through other cycles, your brain is still kind of working, and that deep sleep is when your brain is actually at rest.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
it's another 90-minute cycle, but that helps your whole central nervous system, lymphatic system, can increase growth hormone. So you want to get that super deep sleep, uh, and it's all beneficial.
Yeah, and listening to Huberman, one of his episodes on sleep, he was talking about how slow wave sleep is typically responsible for increase or releasing growth hormone. You might be
hmm
missing a step. There might be something to do with the thyroid in there, but slow wave sleep, you're going to have more human growth hormone
hmm
released into your bloodstream, which is going to help you recover better, right?
For sure.
So in my mind, I'm seeing slow wave sleep is better or more focused on recovering the body, REM sleep more focused on recovering or recovery for the brain.
Yeah.
Does that check out?
Um, yeah, I'd say they both kind of help with like the nervous system. The REM also prepares you to wake up too. So
Hmm.
it's like REM, like that rapid eye movement. Like it's kind of preparatory
Hmm.
for when you're about to wake up. So even if you wake up
Interesting.
a couple times in the night and go right back to sleep, that's okay. Like if you wake up, oh, what time is it? And you fall right back to sleep, you didn't really miss any of the good stuff. You
Mm.
probably just finished a REM cycle and you just happen to wake up out of it. So if you go right back to sleep, you're good.
And REM sleep is when we're dreaming, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that rapid eye movement. Like it's like when you see a dog like running in its sleep,
Hmm.
like good example of a REM.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like understand or going into the subject of like dreams, right?
hmm
It's a I don't know. I feel like it's your brain releasing the shit that it doesn't need anymore and just kind of cleaning out all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've also in listening to Matt Walker talk about it. He talks about how that's like the most important for like prevention of Alzheimer's long term. Have you looked into anything that has to
What
do
dreams
well REM sleep
or
in
just REM
general?
sleep?
Yeah. Have you looked into anything like long term effects of lacking sleep?
I've seen the Alzheimer's. I haven't listened to him for probably a year or two, Matt
Okay.
Walker. It's almost frightening when you hear him talk about the detriments of
Yeah, he talks about how
not
he's like trying to
sleeping,
work on it.
and I'm like, God, man, like I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm
first time I heard
I'm
him
already dead.
talk was on Rogan. He's like,
Yeah,
"You have like 80% more higher likelihood of Alzheimer's if you're not getting enough sleep." I'm like,
yeah, and probably a couple nights a week, I don't get the best sleep. Like I'm up too late, working screens right, whatever it
"Hmm,
is, and Alzheimer's runs in my family, so I'm like
okay,
double fuck.
yeah,
Like, so I've really been trying to nail it. Still young, I can kind of save myself, but
yeah,
uh, yeah, I've seen it about sleep and Alzheimer's. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it.
okay,
Yeah, I haven't looked into a lot of Alzheimer's since like most of the research ended up being a fallacy. Like they lied about the old research of plaque and stuff.
I've
And
heard a little bit about this. Can you go into it at all?"
yeah, so Max Lugavere talked about it. He authored Genius Foods, I think.
Okay,
And so his mom, it wasn't, he had another name for it. It wasn't specifically Alzheimer's, but it was like another type of it.
hmm,
And, he's been studying this for years. And when they first did research on Alzheimer's, they just kind of said, oh, this is what it is. And so all the money went towards basically the wrong type of studies and research. And to where they're now proving otherwise, where, oh, you can slow it down. You can maybe even regress a little bit. And it's not just about plaque buildup in the brain. Yeah, that's not helpful, but it's not directly correlated as they claimed it was
right.
20, 30 years ago.
I feel like that's been happening a lot, or we've been discovering that's happening a lot more, like sugar versus fat, like all that stuff, where that
Well,
was
that was
basically
just
just
food
purchase,
industry.
yeah,
Yeah.
just bought out science.
Yeah.
Same thing with antidepressants and
Mhm.
how the whole premise of them is a chemical imbalance, and that was like bad science as well. It's
I
just
haven't heard that one as much.
yeah. So I think that's a newer one. Um, but from what I understand, is the basically the primary science that was behind that was bought and paid for,
Mm,
and it just makes the whole thing a scam essentially.
yeah,
So I don't know that much about it. I can't go into it and talk, like I know, but
sure.
it's wild. I just wonder what other things we think we know that are just completely not true.
Right. Like,
Seems to be a lot,
it's a lot.
and it
And I
changes all the
understand,
time.
like, because, yeah, nutrition, like you just said, it changes all the time.
Hmm.
But some science is still just science the way it is.
Hmm.
Like, some things will never change. But how do you get that far off?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I don't trust the system. I mean, look at
yeah,
our food pyramid.
right. Yeah,
Grains and bread's the biggest chunk at
11,
the
11
bottom.
servings of grains and bread.
Yeah,
It's a great way to get fat.
but
Be slothful. Um, well, so what are we doing now? Like, how's your sleep recently?
um, last night it wasn't the best, but I was celebrating my
Yeah,
birthday.
happy
So
birthday, by the
thank
way.
you,
Colin
thank you.
just turned 30.
Yeah, my life just ended.
Yes, yeah, it's all downhill.
But it's good, man. So I am really working on it a lot. I started also taking NAD,
Okay,
which is
let's talk about this
good
because
for
I've
like
been considering it.
cell health.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm about to order more. So if you're interested, let me know.
Okay, tell what is an AD?
So I need to look up the actual,
To be here, I'll pull it up.
yeah, because I can't say the whole thing from memory. But
Nicotinum something.
it helps with cell growth and health.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Woo.
dude, that's exactly what I was thinking. So yeah, it helps with cell health, cell growth, rejuvenation, things like that, aging.
Hmm.
So I mean, you have healthy cells, everything is going to improve.
Hmm.
So I can actually feel a difference.
Really?
Yeah, and like I know everyone wants to feel everything. You don't always feel when you
Right.
take your vitamin D. You can feel your magnesium, but like this, I feel 100% different.
No kidding.
And I can only describe it as I feel good.
Okay.
And so after about a week or two on it, like, yes, I was prioritizing my sleep, but I'd wake up and once I get moving, I'm good to go. And within the next hour or two, I just feel good. Like I'm training clients and man, I'm ready to go.
You take it in the morning?
Yeah, first thing in the morning, 2 capsules, empty stomach. So I'll do the NAD, then my probiotic powder, um, and then lemon water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lemon water. Do you you put any salt in there? Or
Mm-mm.
no.
No, I
A lot
think
of
I
people are
probably get
big on
enough
that.
salt
Yeah. Okay.
throughout the day. Yeah. But yeah, lemon water helps hydration because you're just dehydrated for 8 hours. Gives you a little energy boost. So I just squeeze half a lemon, 8, 12 ounces of water, and I love lemon flavored things. So easy
Yeah.
for me to put back.
That's easy.
Yeah. So those are three big things that I take in the morning too, and krill oil. Take fish oil.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the sleep routine, I think I've gotten it pretty nailed down for where I'm at right now. So the Spanish, the journaling, I think journaling everyone should do
Totally agree.
because
I
I mean,
don't do it enough, but
it's you just put like if I'm laying in bed and it takes me forever to fall asleep, which is unusual, my wheels are just turning. I probably didn't journal,
yeah.
and then when I think about it, like oh shit, yeah, I didn't write anything down because when
Mhm.
you can put it from mind to paper,
Makes
it's
it more
different.
real.
Yeah, it's there, it's out. It's like all right, I got it out. Whatever it can be, like cuss someone out in your journal. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. Just get it out. Uh, that will really help sleep. So if you do nothing else, I think journaling right before
Okay.
bed. Yeah, if someone doesn't want to read, journal at least. But yeah, Spanish journal and read. And I do like actual book. I don't do a Kindle or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I prefer that as well.
yeah,
Do you as far as journaling goes, how long have you been doing that?
years.
Oh yeah,
So
every night?
I keep not every night for years, but
Mhm.
like for the most part, like I have multiple thick journals just full. Like I use both sides
Mm.
every single time I date it. I start with 5 things I'm grateful for. Could be people or it could be my bed. That night I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I'm so glad
Yeah,
I got a bed.
just look around.
Um, you
I'm
know,
thankful for that door.
yeah,
It's a great door.
dude, yeah, exactly. Whatever you want to do, man. Grateful for locks. But yeah, 5 things I'm grateful for. And then I'll kind of hit each part of my life, like personal, financial, career, business, what's going on. And then that kind of covers all my bases. Like, good to go.
Now, are you taking anything right before bed
I
as
take
far as supplements?
magnesium.
Magnesium.
Hmm.
Do you know which one off the top?
Yeah, it's I accidentally bought citrate recently, but
Mhm.
usually it's glycinate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glycinate
Yeah,
as well.
glycinate's usually the way to go. Um, but yeah, because that especially because I sweat a lot, jujitsu, then I sauna multiple times a week, so I lose a lot of
Hmm.
magnesium, and just you're training a lot, so you want your muscles loose. Magnesium helps with
Yeah.
all that,
You mentioned it earlier
and sleep.
about magnesium. Like so many people are deficient in magnesium.
It's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, and I can tell a huge difference in my sleep and my just everything whenever I'm not taking my magnesium.
Hmm.
So I've been pretty religious about it the last few months, but also added glycine. So I am doing magnesium glycinate, but
Hmm.
also adding glycine.
Nice,
My REM sleep has gone through the roof
nice.
since I started that. That's a big one.
How long you been doing that?
About 2.5 months,
Okay,
and
yeah,
it was the dreams are crazy, like
nice.
just wild. I had one night, maybe a week or two ago, where like 30 something percent of my sleep was REM sleep, and it was
Yes, you're like perfectly on
yeah,
par.
it was nice.
That's
But I
awesome.
woke up just feeling great, ready to go conquer the day.
That's what's up.
What's your bedtime? Do you keep a consistent one?
Usually within an hour. So if I most days I wake up at 5:30, I try to be down by 10 to 10:30.
Oh man,
So like if I can start reading by 10:15, I'm in a good spot. Like
nice. That's
I'm gonna
yes,
be on Elon Musk rocket fuel the next
yeah.
day.
That feels good.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to do before 10. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Um, I should, but it's just something about 10 o'clock. All right, I'm cool. And then if I can sleep till 6:30 or 7, you know, I don't go past 11.
Yeah.
So I try to not go to sleep between 11 and 12. Like by 11, I'm down
Hmm.
because there's a lot of science about the pre-midnight hours of sleep. It's a very different type of sleep, of falling asleep before midnight versus after.
Can you elaborate?
Not past that, but I
Okay.
know Matt Walker
Okay.
and Huberman have talked about it.
Yeah. I'm like I start my bedtime routine at 11,
Hmm.
probably be asleep about 12:15,
Okay.
wake up at 5:30. So it's a short night, but
Ouch.
I've been feeling really great cuz I've been getting amazing sleep.
That's good.
But,
We take good stuff before bed too.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, which helps, but I mean, I've had a couple nights where or days where I'll sleep into like 7:30 or 8 and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh yeah, I bet you're
I feel like
just
yeah.
take over the world.
Yeah. I wish I could do that every day, but
Yeah.
have too much going on. Kids wake up early too,
Yeah.
which doesn't help. What else, man?
Let's see here.
Yeah, it
We,
looks like you got some notes.
yeah, we
Let's talk
covered
about 'em.
naps. We covered quite a bit. But I guess I'll go back to how we started. Why sleep is the most important. It's how your body does recover and repair.
Mhm.
So, I know plenty of people that they overtrain and that's a problem, but then they sleep. Oh, I'm good on 6 hours. Bullshit. Very few people in the world can
Mhm.
fully function and repair on 6 hours. So if you're training hard, especially, you got a lot going on in life, you need to go to sleep. You got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like there's the old saying of, oh, just sleep on it
Mhm.
because a good night's rest will help any and all decision making. So if you have a big decision, especially, if you got a job offer or anything, I need to sleep on this. You'll always feel better after a good night's sleep. And like your brain is rested, you can think clearer, just everything will improve, literally anything and everything
Yeah.
because you have good sleep.
Decisions, including eating, right?
Yeah,
So what are
100%.
you putting in your body? I think I've read if you are short on sleep, your body has like a higher craving for what is it? Should have even brought it up, I guess. Just unhealthy foods.
Hmm. Like processed carbs, sugars,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely noticed that. Like there was a stretch where it was like 3 or 4 hours a night with a nap during the day and just on and off sleep and rough,
Yeah.
you know. just dealing with Roman and stuff like that. But
I wonder if it's got anything to do with your body just wanting that rest and digest.
I don't know.
So
What do you
like,
mean?
so if you're not getting good sleep, I wonder if your body just wants to go back to that.
Hmm.
And if your cortisol is higher throughout the day, you're working screens where if you crave carbs, like that will get you back into that rest,
Hmm.
drop the cortisol, increase the insulin. I mean, I'm kind of spitballing here,
That makes
but I
sense.
wonder if that plays any part of why it craves carbohydrates, processed sugars, like very palatable things. It's kind of like, you eat amazing pasta, then you sit back,
Oh yeah,
that's nice. So I wonder if it's got anything to do with that, but spitballing.
that makes sense. I mean, it sounds like you're really big on the management of cortisol. Would that be a fair?
Yeah, I'd say my biggest thing is like stress management
Okay.
is the big game I play. Like, yeah, I do a lot of nutrition, a lot of training, but like I can perform in the gym and not have to hit like intense CrossFit 5, 6 days a week. I think that's too much for anyone and everyone.
Hmm.
I just do. Um, where sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Where it's, yeah, I was a little tired today. I trained not super hard, but enough to my body felt it. Like, all right, don't bitch out on me, but
Hmm.
let's just move some weight. And a little bit went a long way. I felt good, not overdoing it. But stress management, I think, is the game that people neglect,
Hmm.
and they don't give the credit that it deserves.
Yeah, and it wrecks your hormones just in general.
100%.
I had to learn that the hard way. It's just because I the way or one of the ways I like to handle my stress is just beating the hell out of myself, right?
Hmm.
And so I would just overdo it. I'm working out, I'm playing basketball, I'm walking, I'm just doing too much and not recovering.
Yeah.
And so it's been really hard, but I've been trying to work towards that less is more mindset, and my body feels just so much better.
Yeah. Well, last time we talked a lot about you backing off a day or two
Yeah.
throughout the week. But I get it. When you're stressed out, you want to hit it hard.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so pick and choose your battles. But glad you're feeling better with a little extra rest.
Yesterday I took a rest day, and
Nice.
don't do that very much, but it was nice.
Yeah. I'm
Very
loud and
nice.
proud on rest days, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I might do more of them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been hitting the weights a little bit harder instead of playing so much basketball all the time.
Mm.
I'm sure you could tell. But it's
Yeah,
been,
you hardly made it through the door that you're
yeah.
grateful for.
Well, I turned sideways, so it was a little easier.
I don't know how your thighs fit under the table, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the table's tilted. But-
Yeah, problems.
All right, man. Well, thank you for spending the time
Dude,
and
thanks for
just
having me.
covering sleep.
Yeah,
Always
important
love
subject.
having
I
you
was
in.
excited to
Yeah.
talk sleep.
What else? Is there anything else you want to mention?
I don't think just go to bed.
Yeah.
Like
Go to
get
bed.
a simple routine. Like atomic habits, just habit stacking.
Yeah.
After you brush your teeth, add 5 pages of a book.
Yeah.
Takes you maybe 10 minutes.
That's the way to do it, and fall in love with like building these habits.
Yeah.
I've never read that book, but
Yeah, good one.
um,
Yeah, James Clear. Or just journal. Journal for 5 minutes.
yeah,
That, I think, start there. If you do nothing before bed, start with journaling. Just get your thoughts out.
great,
An actual handwritten. Don't look at a screen.
agreed.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening. This was a nice little short one. Hope it helped. If it did, give it a share. Appreciate it. Peace.
Later.